The phrase, Abomination of Desolation. What is it, and what does the Bible teach us about it? Let's dig in together and find out. The Abomination of Desolation appears multiple times in the book of Daniel. This mysterious phrase speaks of a future time of great tribulation. Daniel 9:27 mentions it in the context of a covenant being broken. Daniel 11:31 speaks of it in connection with the desecration of the temple, and Daniel 12:11 links it to a time of unprecedented trouble. What does it all mean? The Abomination of Desolation points to a time when evil will seem to triumph. It is a time when faith will be tested. But even in the midst of darkness there is hope. The prophet Daniel, through these prophecies, reminds us that God is in control. We must hold on to this truth, especially when faced with uncertainty. The Abomination of Desolation is a sobering reminder of the spiritual battle raging around us. It is a call to be vigilant in our faith. We must stand firm in our convictions. We must remember that God is always with us. Many scholars believe that the Abomination of Desolation found its first fulfillment in the actions of Antiochus IV Epiphanies. This Syrian king ruled in the 2nd century BC. He desecrated the Jewish temple in Jerusalem. He erected an altar to Zeus. He offered sacrifices of pigs on the altar of God. This event was a horrific act for the Jewish people. It was a direct attack on their faith. Antiochus's actions foreshadowed a greater fulfillment of the prophecy. Jesus himself spoke of the Abomination of Desolation in the context of the end times. The desecration of the temple by Antiochus serves as a warning. It reminds us that evil can manifest in powerful ways. We must be prepared to stand strong in our faith. We must be ready to face persecution. Centuries after Daniel, Jesus spoke about the Abomination of Desolation. In Matthew 24:15-16, Jesus warns his disciples about a future event. He says, "So when you see the Abomination of Desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing in the holy place, let the reader understand. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains." Jesus connects this event with the destruction of Jerusalem. This prophecy has intrigued and puzzled theologians for centuries. Some believe that Jesus was referring to the destruction of the temple by the Romans in 70 AD. They see this as a fulfillment of both Daniel's and Jesus' prophecies. This event was undeniably traumatic for the Jewish people. It resulted in widespread suffering and the destruction of their sacred temple. However, other scholars believe that Jesus was pointing to an even greater fulfillment, one that will occur at the end of time. The Beast of Revelation, a harbinger of desolation. The book of Revelation, the final book of the Bible, also speaks of a figure who will bring about great tribulation. Revelation 13 describes a beast who will rise from the sea wielding immense power. This beast will demand worship and persecute those who refuse to bow down. Many believe that this beast is directly connected to the Abomination of Desolation. The beast's actions mirror the desecration of the temple by Antiochus IV Epiphanies. Both figures seek to elevate themselves above God. Both figures persecute those who remain faithful. Could the beast of Revelation be the one who will ultimately fulfill the prophecy of the Abomination of Desolation? The connection between the beast and the Abomination of Desolation is a sobering reminder of the spiritual battle that rages around us. We must be prepared to stand firm in our faith, even in the face of persecution. We must be vigilant and discerning, recognizing the signs of the times. Echoes of the Abomination: modern events in light of prophecy. Recent events in the world have led many to wonder if we are living in the end times. The rise of global conflict, natural disasters, and moral decay seem to align with biblical prophecies. The ongoing conflict in the Middle East, particularly events like the October 7th attacks on Israel, have sparked discussions about the fulfillment of biblical prophecy. While we must be careful not to engage in speculation or date setting, it is prudent to view current events through the lens of Scripture. The prophecies of Daniel and Revelation serve as warnings, urging us to be spiritually prepared for the challenges that lie ahead. The October 7th attacks, a horrific act of terrorism, serve as a reminder of the fragility of peace and the ever-present threat of evil in the world. These events should prompt us to pray for peace in the Middle East and for the safety of all those affected by the conflict. Hope in the storm, the promise of God's faithfulness. While the abomination of desolation is a frightening concept, it is crucial to remember that God is ultimately in control. The prophecies in Daniel and Revelation are not meant to scare us, but to prepare us. They remind us that darkness will not prevail. Light will always overcome darkness. No matter how difficult things may seem, we can hold on to the promise of God's faithfulness. He will never leave us nor forsake us. He will see us through any storm. Our job is to stay rooted in His love, to be a beacon of hope in a world that desperately needs it. Even in the face of the abomination of desolation, we can face the future with confidence, knowing that God is with us every step of the way. Let us be the light in the darkness, sharing God's love and hope with a world in need.